My name's Leo Preston and I'm here making a new demo with the band Snur, the Bergen-based band Snur. They're doing a demo of some songs with Claudio Forlini as producer. I'd just like to run you through our strategy for making this recording, show you some of the microphone setups and try and explain some of the logic behind that. So here we go. I'll show you the drums first. This whole drum set right now has very little damping on it. The bass drum is using a Remo Power Stroke bass head, which is, they're all coated heads, with this, what do they call them? With this pad that Remo gives you when you buy the heads, you know, for a bit of extra kind of attack and to keep you from making a big dent in your head, you know. And the way this bass drum is tuned just has a really, really beautiful rebound and a big boost. You know, also the toms resonate with it, and it just gives the whole kit this really open, resonating kind of vintage sound. I really like it. So the overheads on the drums are a matched pair of AKG 414s with the pattern set to cardioid. That's the middle pattern, just a standard cardioid pattern, and they're not configured as a particular XY stereo configuration. They're placed manually where they are to capture the whole kit basically, but they are spaced equidistant from the snare drum to keep that kind of in the middle. Then on the hi-hat we've got a AKG C451, which is great for hi-hats. That's pointing more or less straight down at the top of the hi-hat, with a bass roll-off at 75 Hertz. On the snare drum we've got two Shure SM57s, one on top and one underneath. The one on the bottom is phase inverted, and the one on top is coming in at quite a steep angle, you know, almost flat basically. That's partly to do with the drummer's playing style, but also because it's capturing a really nice ring where it is now, that kind of bell-like tone. And the one underneath is pointing straight at the snare. That's capturing this snare rattle and a lot of kind of cracky treble sound. That's inverted so that, well, to avoid phase issues between the two mics. On the toms we've got SM58s, Shure SM58s, and we're trying to keep them kind of pointing as much as possible away from the rest of the kit to avoid spill. Then on the bass drum we've got a Shure Beta 52A, which is outside the kick drum. Often I have it inside the kick drum. I even have a little kit to mount it in there. But this is kind of a jazz way of recording the bass drum, having it right outside the front of the bass drum, where it really picks up a lot of the boom. We've put the guitar amplifiers in another room for better separation in the mix, and we have this paint workshop here at Wrap which has quite a bright and really quite crazy acoustic, you know, but we thought that would be a fun live room for the guitars. And we've got this Fender twin amp with an SM58 pointing directly at the center of the speaker cone. That's in the main part of the room, and with the mic on the center of the speaker cone, that gives quite a punchy, crisp, clear tone which we like. The other amp is inside this partitioned off part of the room with wooden shelves, so it's not quite as reverberant. It's got a Beta 58 by Shure pointing straight at the center of the speaker cone. And we're also using a room mic just to capture some of the really crazy reverberations, particularly from the Fender amp. So that's this AKG C1000. The bass is actually going straight into the Apogee sound card, so we have no separation issues there at all. That's just going directly in there. But the violin is being recorded in the office here. It's being recorded with an AKG C1000, which is a large diaphragm mic. The bass roll-off is turned completely off. And then the vocals are being recorded in the vocal booth where there's no reverb, so that can be controlled at the mix stage with effects processors. That's being recorded with a Langevin CR3A mic, which I think sounds great on most vocals. And so basically we can have a listen to all that stuff now. We'll start off with the drums, and I've taken off all the EQ or compressors, all the plugins here. You can listen to the overheads flat as they were recorded from the 414s. And with some toms and stuff, maybe, if I can find that. Yep, so there's the overheads, and of course always nice to put a bit of extra kick in there. Here's what the kick is sounding like on its own. And the hi-hat is sounding like this. So you really don't hear an awful lot of separation there from the rest of the kit, but we're quite enjoying it where it is. I wonder if there's some closed hi-hat somewhere. There's some closed hat for you. Okay, so what else do we have? Well, here's the, we'll play you the top of the snare first. Hear that really nice bell tone there. And the bottom one sounds like this. So together you get this quite holistic snare drum sound, you know, a bit of mixing and compression make it sound really cool. So moving on, we have the high tom. Let's see, somewhere at the end he's playing a lot on the toms. There's the top tom. And the bottom one, and together there's the two toms. So that's the drums basically. Then what else might be interesting to listen to? Well, the violin is sounding like this. And here's some vocals.
Let's go down to Mexico,
And the guitars. Guitar 1, that's the Vox. Maybe we've got some clean sound somewhere too. Let's have a listen. So there's the Vox, and the Fender is sounding like this. pretty crazy, you know, so you don't necessarily want it on full blast. They kind of go together like this. Yeah, and let's see if we can find some of dirty guitar. Yeah, well, you can hear the room on its own. Here's the room on its own. It's a very dirty sound. There you go.
Fixing buildings, making sure they never die. A city shining, stars are falling on the streets. Children singing, dancers tapping their feet. The dark is sleeping now, the city starts to move. Crying babies, are you feeling?